Hi, you folks. Dan is back with a summary of the Enneagram 6, which is called the Loyalist or the Trooper. Hold the Iron Maiden jokes for now. Type 6 is a part of the thinking triad, but re- this one's a neat one because it's a little. I find the 6 a little hard to peg because of the fact that they really fall into two big principal categories, the phobic and the counterphobic. And I always sort of play by this little law. If I can't think of what Enneagram type to subscribe to something or somebody or something like that, oftentimes they might be a 6. You might have to go attack that a number of different ways. But as far as the thinking triad goes, I think they would probably be, they could either be introverted or extroverted, but overthinking seems to be the order of the day with the 6. Anxiety, they're fueled by anxiety. And they even thrive within it. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. The overthinking that they do is just a part of keeping these structures that they value in place. This is very Capricornian, Saturnian energy. So this is hardworking and group oriented and directed really at things like preservation and keeping tried and true and proven structures intact. So this is not really radical energy or anything. It's probably the opposite of that. This is working within limitations. When I mentioned Saturn, that's what Saturn is. Saturn is structures and it's limitations and laws and statutes and things. And people who are 6s outside of the arts work well within governmental positions and dealing with the law. So, I mean, maybe even lawyers and judges and things like that. But working with this is mostly about music and art. Now here's how the 6 is different than the 5. The 5 is far out, impractical, eccentric ideas, where the 6 is really motivated by mainstream, tried and true ideas. And they'll probably run from the really far-flung stuff for their own reasons. But remember, we're after safety, we're after structures, and of course they'll feel like those wacky far out ideas of the type 5 might threaten the integrity of the structure that they're trying to build, the band or the film or whatever it is. Now I'm going to give you maybe 2 examples of maybe 6s. I'll do a phobic 6 and a counterphobic 6. I think the phobic 6 could easily be Woody Allen or any of the movies that he normally plays in. He normally plays himself. But I'm just talking about his output here. So, I'm not going to go into his personal bits, but I'm just I only know of him from his movies. And he's a very talented filmmaker. He's cartoonishly phobic in his movies, right? But remember that he's a very, very prolific guy. So he's got dozens and dozens of movies that he's still making in his 80s. There's that longevity. So it's also directing and acting and writing and producing. So there's the work ethic. The films are almost always depending on an ensemble performance. So there's the group right there. And he's a musician himself. And as a musician, he plays traditional ragtime jazz. So there is the tried and true music, and there's the upholding of a tradition. Now, a counterphobic 6 might be somebody like, I would say Bruce Springsteen. And as I said, politics aside, whatever it is, I'm just going to talk about the Bruce that I know from music. He could definitely be called the Trooper. Touring incessantly, and often his concerts are 4.5 hours of him just, busting a gasket with his Telecaster. And he's very loyal to his group, a very big group of people. So there's that group. And he's very loyal to that structure. And he often has them under his employ for more than 4 decades. So that's really job security. That's that. Now, as far as the traditional side goes, he's definitely got that. He goes on big tours where he does, with his acoustic guitar, and does evenings of Woody Guthrie folk songs. So there's the traditional aspect of the music, too. So you're not going to hear a wild, crazy, harmonic punk ska hip-hop record from him. You pretty much know what he's going to deliver, and he's going to deliver it. That's the 6. So that's the two sort of principal types. As I said, I'm just learning about 6. I always found 6 the hardest to grasp, but I think that's the best I might be able to do for right now. Stay tuned for number 7.